Hi, I'm Laura, and welcome back to the Tarot Genie, where you receive insightful answers from the tarot to your burning questions about business, career, personal development, entrepreneurship, spirituality, and more. Do you want to learn how to forgive someone or a situation finally, forever? There are things in our past that sometimes still eat away at us. And when you haven't fully forgiven a person or a particular situation or set of circumstances, this can really hamper you and prevent you from moving forward or moving as far as in your head in your life as you would like. And so today I thought it would be a good opportunity, if you are experiencing any such situation, to be able to resolve it once and for all and to look at it from a mental, physical, and spiritual perspective. I don't believe that I am, well, sometimes I do think there are situations, actually I have to take that back. I was thinking I don't have something that I feel is eating away at me, but there was a situation a few years ago, about 4 years ago, really bad ending of a relationship. And that does still sometimes have these residual effects. I do think I've forgiven the person. I don't think about the situation in a resentful way, but we never know fully what's going on in our subconscious. And I do know that I still have some residual fears or anxieties associated with that particular situation. Likewise, you may be experiencing the same thing. Could be something different. Maybe you were embezzled out of money, or someone didn't pay you back something, or someone betrayed you in a very devastating way. Let's ask the tarot how you can go about getting beyond and forgiving that person, because as it's been often said, it's not so much forgiving them for their benefit as it is for your benefit. You just don't want things eating away at you. And a good affirmation or thought that came to mind, and as usual I will recommend something to read. This is not a book. This is actually what I'm going to share with you today is the Daily Word. This is from a year ago. I couldn't find my latest version or latest issue of the Daily Word. It's somewhere around here. But the Daily Word is a publication of spiritual thoughts and ideas. Now, if you're not religious, and it really is non-denominational, although I guess if you could say anything, it's more of a Christian bent in that they will talk about things in the Bible and mention Jesus from time to time. But even if you are not religious at all, or you don't consider yourself religious, there are gems of wisdom in this publication. And for example, almost a year ago, Monday, July 30th, 2018, the thought and the theme for the day was, I am set free as I forgive. And it does say here, there's much for me to learn from the life and words of Jesus, the master teacher. And as many of us know, he said, forgive them for they do not know what they are doing. And that this addresses the incredible power of forgiveness. Because as you forgive, you free yourself up. You open yourself up to opportunities. You're no longer constricted and confined in something from the past that can really limit you. And as it affirms, I am set free as I forgive. Let's see what the tarot advises us today to go about, how we can go about forgiving a situation or a person once and for all, mentally, physically, and spiritually. And let's just be open to what the tarot has for us today. And I will set out the cards. Mentally, physically, and spiritually, what advice is the tarot going to give us today? Now, mentally, considering the situation where you may have a challenge in area of forgiveness. Mentally, the Chariot, which is a major arcana card, number 7. 7 is the number often associated with spirituality, spiritual focus. And what I see here, what comes to mind is if we want to go about really forgiving a person or situation, set of circumstances, and the people who were involved with that. The first thing that, or piece of advice that the tarot is giving us, I think, in looking at the Chariot, and we see here this black and white, the black and white sphinxes, and sphinxes often are associated with mystery. But the Chariot's about traveling and moving forward, as its name connotes. And we see this man, a young man, probably in his 30s, and who appears to be a commander, military officer of some kind. And what's interesting, he's standing erect, he's standing firm and tall. And what it suggests to me, and also there's this great illumination of yellow behind him, is that if we're thinking about the question of how we go about forgiveness, is taking a stance and being firm about it, recognizing how important it is, and vowing to move forward from this moment on. Because that's what the Chariot basically conveys, is the concept of moving forward, and moving forward in a powerful way. So when we think about the particular situation that's been gnawing at us, that's been churning our stomachs, we need to first acknowledge that we need to take a stand. We say, okay, this is hampering me. I'm not moving forward in my life if I allow myself to not forgive this situation and not move forward from it, no matter how bad it was. I mean, there are people I know who have been through situations that just would have totally devastated me, and that I don't know whether I could have survived, frankly. But these people have prevailed and been able to kind of rise from the ashes as the phoenix does. And so the first piece of advice I think the Tarot is giving us today in the Chariot, this very strong, powerful energy, especially the major arcana, is that you need to tap into that, mentally acknowledge that your spirit needs to move forward, that it's of vital importance to your spirit to set yourself free, to forgive. And that even though the situation can look like a black and white type of situation and very difficult one to navigate, that we have to take a firm stand on it and just look for insights, this illumination, and tap into your intuition for ways that you can go about forgiving. The crescent moons here suggest tapping into the intuition. Let's move on to the next one. I may get some more insights from that, but that's what first comes to mind in looking at the Chariot. Mentally, the perspective you need to take. Standing firm, recognizing you need to move forward, and how important forgiving of the situation a person is to be able to move forward. Physically, what actions do you need to take? And interestingly, we have another major arcana card. We have the Strength card reversed. Now, when this is upright, the 8, the major arcana, what I love about this, well, 8 is associated with power and strength in itself, the number 8. And we have this young maiden who appears to be taming the wild beast, the fierce lion. And she's just gently holding its snout and its mouth and basically telling it to calm down in a firm but gentle way. Now, given that the question related is about, how do you go about forgiving, and what do you need to do physically or in a physical way, since this is the second card, and I said would be associated with physical movements. Well, interestingly, it's reversed, so for me, this suggests maybe you need to take time physically and meditate, turn within and tap into your own inner power. Like really feel that sense of it in your body. Tap into it. I think the best way, or one of the best ways, is to meditate and just turn within, and as I like to say, tune within, to get an inner sense of your own power, to really feel that physically by turning within. And as you do so, when you feel that inner power in your body, when you physically feel it by tuning and turning within, you are going to be much more capable of forgiveness. You will be able to, ideas will come to you. Again, we have this yellow background, but this card is reversed, so it suggests to me you're going to receive, as you maybe tap into your inner strength and quiet and meditate perhaps, you are really going to get an inner sense of illumination, and it's going to become very clear to you about what you need to do physically, and that may be anything from changing your routine or doing something physical in a way that will convey to you that you are forgiving the situation of this person and moving forward. I may get some more ideas about that as we move on to the next card, but that's a Strength card reversed. Physically, I would say it's suggesting to you to meditate, to turn within and tune into your own inner strength. And finally, spiritually, what do you need to recognize, do, etc., from a spiritual perspective? Now this is quite interesting. Not a card I would necessarily expect to appear in this position of how you need to go about forgiving and forgetting the situation to set yourself free. And once again, we have another 7, so that this is a minor arcana, so it's not as strong as the Chariot. But it's interesting, but this deals, the swords deal with thoughts, philosophies, etc. And what we have here, I often associate this card with the sense of deception. But given that it's in the position of related to the question of how you can go about setting yourself free by forgiving, and how you go about forgiveness, and what you need to think spiritually, I just see this as the situation, the person who harmed you or who did you wrong, or whatever this case may be. Spiritually, you just have to let them go. Let them think they've gotten away with something. Just release it. Let them go away. They really no longer have the power to affect you as long as you just kind of release them. I just see this sense of saying, let go of that undesirable individual spiritually. Just let it go. As you let it go, you're going to feel a lot freer. I believe that the swords here are associated with that, just your rambling thoughts, ideas, and negativity associated with this person. Given it's in the advice position of what you need to do spiritually, I see it as just letting that negativity go, because this individual is moving away. Granted, it looks like often he's associated with situations in which he's stealing something or being deceptive, but I see this as spiritually just letting the situation go, letting those thoughts go, just saying, good riddance, I'm stronger than that, and then I can move forward. So looking at all 3 cards, one commonality is that there's a lot of illumination. There's a yellow background, a bright yellow background in everything here. And for me, it suggests that this situation that you've been wrestling with, that you've had trouble forgiving, in some way, it gave you the gift of illumination. Maybe you became, even though the situation was extremely difficult at the time, somehow it gave you a sense of illumination, of your own power, of the ability to let go of things that just don't serve you. It's just a gift in providing you with that insight. So mentally, you make a stance, you take a stance, you recognize that forgiveness is vital for you to be able to move forward. Physically, perhaps take some time to meditate, to tune within and turn within, to recognize your inner strength. And in a spiritual sense, just let it go. Kind of release it. Release that devilish individual, that devilish situation. Just let it go, and you're going to feel a lot freer. I hope this reading has been helpful for you. Please hit the subscribe button if you haven't already subscribed, and also hit the subscribe button, and also hit the bell if you want to be notified of upcoming videos. Until next time, illumine your mind, inspire your life with the tarot.